Hi there, and thanks for joining us. I'm Connie Tran. Stop the Bleed is a national awareness campaign that aims to train people on what to do if they or someone around them needs help in an emergency before first responders arrive. A Fresno woman credits being alive today to what she learned at a Stop the Bleed class at Clovis Community's HealthQuest.
Good baby.
Kathleen Harrison has spent her life taking care of horses.
It's just a pleasure. You get an opportunity to interact with nature more. They are always thrilled to see you, and it's very fun.
She's always lived on a ranch, often in remote parts of Fresno County. Last summer, she was living on one off McKinley Avenue.
And it's a large parcel. It's a former showcase horse breeding facility. Somebody bought right for you guys.
Kathleen says her neighbors were on vacation, so there wasn't anyone around when she was out trying to fix a T-post wire fence that had been partially bent out of place.
The T-post fence was crooked and in a position where if the horse up front had started to wander around, she might have in fact cut herself.
Concerned about the safety of her horse, Kathleen describes how she grabbed the T-post to try to align the fence.
Pulling him to straighten him up after the other horses had pushed them away, and it recoiled on me and took the wrist.
Kathleen's cut on her left wrist was so deep her ligaments were exposed. There was no one around to help. Kathleen had to go into action herself.
So I remembered to elevate it, had only a rag in my pocket, but banded that around so that I was able to hold pressure.
Just a few months prior to cutting herself, Kathleen had attended a Stop the Bleed seminar at community medical centers. It was there where she learned about the nationwide program. Dr. Lawrence Sue explains.
The whole thrust of this program was to empower the lay individual to want to do something or to be able to have at least the knowledge to do something.
Dr. Sue says Stop the Bleed was put together after several mass shootings at schools showed many victims had died from bleeding.
It takes about 20 to 25 minutes for the first rescues to occur. And when someone's bleeding, especially heavily bleeding, that's too long.
In a traumatic incident, if someone loses between 30 to 40% of their total blood volume, their body will likely go into shock or they can possibly die, according to Dr. Sue. Stop the Bleed teaches people to not only help others in need, but also themselves.
With the information I got from Stop the Bleed, to bind it, no bleeding, and drive myself to the hospital.
Stop the Bleed gives people the knowledge to do a quick assessment of an injury, apply direct pressure to the wound, pack the wound, and apply a tourniquet if one is available. A tourniquet is a tight band used to control bleeding by completely stopping the blood flow to a wound.
Good baby.
Dr. Sue says an incident like what happened to Kathleen illustrates that the tools taken away from Stop the Bleed can be used at any time.
It doesn't have to be a disaster or a massive casualty instance or shooting or anything like that. It can be in your house.
Kathleen says she doesn't know what would have happened had she not had the knowledge from Stop the Bleed to help herself, but she's very glad she did.
Quite frankly, probably would have gone into shock.
Community medical centers offer Stop the Bleed courses on the fourth Tuesday of every month. To register, email stopthebleed@communitymedical.org or call 559-459-5133.